Speaking of help.
Speaking of help and potential.
Oh.
Both.
Nicely done.
Double gravitational. You need help by way of supplementation if you're working out. So, man, how you said you can't not work out, I think. Especially nowadays. Like you could, because your life probability wise is cruising. You're cruising physically. Where, you go to the office. Because really, that's
life is physically easy right now
easier
for most people.
And gets easier and easier. Even if it's not easy right now, next year, generally speaking, it's going to be easier. Like so I'm brushing my teeth like I do every week or whatever. And
once a week, whether you need it or not.
Yeah. And so I have the regular toothbrush, I'm sure there's all kinds of little micro technologies in the toothbrush. But I started to think, man, this is an old school thing. There's automatic toothbrushes. Actually, my brother told me about this toothbrush, this automatic, electric toothbrush that was like super dope and highly recommended it. It was like $89, all this stuff. And I'm thinking, dang, something as basic as brushing your teeth is way easier now. Way easier. You got a machine to do it. That's really the whole narrative with everything. Point being, physically,
you got to push yourself because you're not going to have to push it.
You got to recreate it.
No one's going to push you.
Yeah. Your environment is starting to work more and more against you in regards to physical activity. So my point being, you got to work out.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a real straightforward thing. Work out.
Yeah, but I feel like it's easy for you, to be like, yeah, it seems obvious, They call that the curse of knowledge. You know how when you're like so advanced in this one thing that you forget how it is to not be advanced?
Yeah, that's true. I have forgotten what it's like to not be advanced in terms of trying to explain to people why they would. I think it's pretty self-evident to anybody why you'd work out.
No, you're wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Think about this. And I thought about this one. Like, okay, when you go into a jiu-jitsu gym, okay, you're different. So you could very well not even understand this. This might not compute with you. But if you walk into a jiu-jitsu gym, and this applies to even a regular 24-hour fitness gym, if you've never been in there before, if you've never worked out, that's a really intimidating thing. You come in, everyone's looking at me. I don't know how to use the machines. I don't know how to work out. Like, everyone's looking at me, judging me. I'm dumb. It is not my element, all this stuff. It's intimidating,
Okay.
But it's real. It's what I'm saying. You know how you say, like, you probably don't know about that because you have the curse of knowledge in regards to like physical activity, working out, all that stuff. And then the pain that comes with it, I dig it. I understand. But that's even more of a reason to work out. Physical condition. Anyway, you'd be glad you did. If you don't work out, just jump in there. Jump in.
Go to the gym.
Last year, if you would have started working out, you know how dope you'd be right now? Way doper than you are if in the event you didn't start last year. See what I'm saying? Anyway, while you work out, your joints might be kind of sore. I know this from experience. Take krill oil. My father-in-law turned me on to it. Actually, technically didn't successfully turn me on to it, but he tried. He tried. And, I didn't see the light until Jocko turned me onto it. So now I'm turning everyone else onto it, hopefully successfully. Krill oil is, I'm not going to go into a whole deep thing here, but it's for your joint. So if you get joint pain, just with degeneration over time, you get older, you dig it, krill oil will bring you back. They'll function. It's kind of like your joints are like always warm now. Not like to the touch warm, but like warm, like ready for action. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, krill oil. I didn't even say by who, huh?
Yeah.
If you don't know, On It. That's the whole company, and they don't have just krill oil. They have other stuff too.
They also have Shroom Tech.
Yeah, performance stuff.
Which I recommend. I recommend Shroom Tech, by the way.
Big time, especially if you're going for performance.
Yeah, if you're gonna go train jiu-jitsu with Andy, Taylor, Dean, Craig Baker, Greg Train, Echo Charles, just take
the Shroom Tech Sport.
Yeah, Shroom Tech Sport. Take 3 of them.
Oh, is that the formula?
No, that's the recommended. I didn't know that. And then I read it.
Yeah.
One day I just read the instructions for no reason. I was like, I wonder if I take 12 of these things, if I'll be even more tech.
Yeah, I wonder.
But I did say 3, because I had been taking 2.
Oh, for real?
So I took 3. But it felt a little bit more
legit. Yeah, I always take 3 and never let down. And again, that's for the performance. So if I'm just cruising, if I'm just taking a walk around the block or 2, I take the Shroom Tech. I'm not going to feel it as much as if I jump in jiu-jitsu rounds,
Yeah, no,
So
you
I'm saying
need to. I take it when I have to perform a situation.
Yeah, big time. Me too. You take Shroom Tech Immune, not to be confused with.
And I've taken Shroom Tech Immune when I go massive travel.
Yeah.
You're getting all these planes with all these people. Everyone's sick, coughing, sneezing.
Yeah.
It's all nasty. And you know what I do? Just go ahead and take some Shroom Tech Immune.
And just relax.
It's something different because it's yellowish.
the label's green too. So
the whatever you're eating is more yellow.
Yeah, I think the ingredients. We'll just say the ingredients are yellow.
I take vitamin C actually when I'm on big travel. Vitamin C, Shroom Tech Immune.
I hear zinc is a good one too. That's what I hear.
I've taken zinc before to try and overcome a cold, but I wasn't very, convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will power some vitamin C though if I feel like some kind of a disease coming on.
Yeah.
Just power the vitamin C.
See, and that's kind of the good thing where you take this Shroom Tech Immune.
Yeah.
You know that they were like, okay, does vitamin C help? Okay, check. It does zinc, and I don't know. I didn't read the ingredients like you
neither.
did and thought we're about to or whatever, but
I read the effects.
Yeah, okay, got you.
Raise my immune system. Gonna need that plane. Bunch of dirty people. Not all of you, but many of you.
Many.
Sneezing.
Sure.
Sneezing on everyone. Coughing on everyone.
Yeah.
And by the way, because I'm going to go talk to people, I can't be going, how you doing? I'm Jocko. Or, I can't do that. I have to actually be able to talk.
Yeah, coughing, saying excuse me the whole time.
Yeah, I can't be. It's awful if you sneeze or cough when you're on a mic in front of a big group of people.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Or if you keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Shroom Tech Immune.
Shroom Tech,
Onnit.com.
You know the good stuff's in there. Okay, yes, Onnit.com. You want 10% off all this stuff. Onnit.com/Jocko. And here's the thing. We just talked about, right now, we talked about krill oil, Shroom Tech Sport, Shroom Tech Immune.
Alpha Brain.
Oh, okay, yeah. Alpha Brain. Bro, we could go all night with this. Because of all the good stuff.
Did you
is
take
what
Alpha
I'm saying.
Brain today?
I did. You watched me actually while you were
I
reading.
did. I had Alpha Brain today, and I was thinking you took it, but then when you wanted that long story about something, and I was sort of wondering maybe he didn't take his Alpha Brain today.
No. Then when I wrapped it up, you were like, dang, he was on that Alpha Brain the whole time.
Oh, he was on that Alpha Brain. I didn't see it.
Alpha Brain.
That statement made me think you were on Alpha Brain today. Just because you were able to complete your whole deal right there, I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah,
Alpha Brain.
back.
Listen to Echo's story, and then when it comes to the closure, you go, dang, I'm going to get some of that.
Exactly right. See, hey, take my lead example. You understand what I'm saying? So Alpha Brain, if you don't know, because we haven't talked about it as much as I feel like as far as its role in our lives, my life. Anyway, I'm speaking for myself. Where you take it, it's called nootropic. It's basically brain food supplements. Like to make your brain.
You know what I'm gonna
better.
Get too, because I've been taking mostly on it. Mostly Alpha Brain in the powder because it tastes good. Yeah, the peach and the spice. I've been taking it in that more than I'm gonna get, and I actually ran out of the pills. Yeah, the capsules.
Wait, so you'd prefer the capsules? You're saying?
Well, sometimes capsules a little bit more convenient, right?
Yeah. But I like it.
If I'm doing an event or I'm gonna go on a podcast, and I want to just be able to get some Alpha Brainy in the brainy.
See, bro, you're always in a hurry doing a bunch of stuff. Bro, mix it up. A little ritual. Like when you brew tea, it's like, I don't know, it's a whole experience. Anyway, either way, they're both the same deal, and they're called nootropics. Proven, by the way. I'm not just saying, it feels good for me, so you should take it. I'm not just saying that.
Now, when you say that, but to me, that means more to me than, I don't know why, but like when you say, it's been double, triple blind, placebo, blah, 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 controlled. Yeah. I would rather have like someone that I know say, bro, I'm telling you, take this stuff. Like I did with krill oil to you.
Yeah.
Right? That was more important than reading a bunch of facts about it.
Yeah. And
if you take someone that you know and they're saying, look, man, give it a little crack.
Yeah.
Trust me on this one.
And I think most people have that in one way or another, not with everything, but yeah, like if you recommend a movie or something like that, and then meanwhile look at the reviews are like super good, but then you're like, it was junk because of this, because of that. It's like it's an authentic thing. I haven't watched a movie in so
long. Yeah. And I went right to the classic 90s. It said 90s comedy. What kind of mood is Jocko in when I go to 90s comedy?
Oh, with Zoolander? Yeah, man.
That's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. But I like Owen. Is it Owen Wilson in that movie?
No, the other one. Oh, wait, yeah. Sorry. I'm thinking Ben Stiller.
I like that guy, Owen Wilson. He's funny. I like him because he comes across as very truthful in the way he says
Yeah,
things.
like almost naive too,
Yeah. He's just like, seems like a good dude to hang out with. Seems like he'd be fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
But he's kind of got this air about him that's
kind of
pretty
airheady.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Nonetheless, back to the alpha brain. I think that when they prove it, I think certain people, certain types of like mindsets or whatever kind of more gravitate towards that. Like they're like, okay, that's cool that it worked for you, but that could have been placebo. That could have been this. That could have been your mood that day or whatever. If I'm going to commit to this, I want some hard facts. Some people, that's how. So boom, you got the hard facts as well as a legitimate recommendation. Because I was taking this even before, the podcast and stuff. So I was into it. Nonetheless, Alpha Brain, that's a good one. A bunch of other cool stuff. If you're into protein powder, good clean protein powder on there. All workout stuff too, by the way. I got a bunch of kettlebells. They're Primal Bells, Legend Bell, the artistic one. They're dope. Look at my Instagram. There's some on there. Anyway, that is a good way to support yourself, help yourself, maintain the workouts, physical activity, all that stuff. So you can be successful in that way. I don't think there's any excuse anymore. I for real don't. Also, good way to support. Really good way to support Amazon click-through. When you go and get the book, Conversations with Major Dick Winters, go to the website. It's listed there. And click through there. Boom. So basically, it's an Amazon click-through. You buy it through Amazon. Amazon click-through. You before you do your shopping, click through the website. Amazon. Boom. Supports the podcast. Small action, big reaction. Because the click-through only takes what?
3 seconds, I think we've determined.
Maximum, really. So, give them some leeway. So we'll say 3 seconds. And then the reaction is massive support for this podcast. That's a good way. Amazon click-through the website, jockopodcast.com, or I think it's on jockostore.com as well. But just go to jockopodcast.com. Click through before you do your Amazon shopping. Also, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes if you haven't already. Stitcher, Google Play, all these other podcasting providing platforms. Also on YouTube. If you don't mind the video version of this podcast, go to YouTube, watch it there. It's cool. It adds that other layer of experience.
Yeah, everyone seems to do that when there's a guest.
Yeah.
Because they don't know who that person is. They know what you look like. They know what I look like.
Most people.
Well, if they're listening to the podcast, eventually they know what you look like. They know what I look like.
Yeah.
And so there's no reason sometimes, although sometimes you can see like when certain subjects come up and there's maybe some intensity in the podcast, more people watch it.
I've noticed
but if it's a pretty mellow podcast and we're just talking about whatever we're talking about, maybe not everyone feels the need to go to the YouTube. But when the guest comes on, people want to see what that person looks like. And there's usually some more animated interactions.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, big time. Yeah, man. So if you're into that.
You know what? It'd be cool if you made a little clip of when Tim Kennedy was on. And I read a question from the audience, was something along the lines of, I said, hey, they took away bayonet training from boot camp, and Tim Kennedy just goes, God damn it. That's one of my favorite parts of any podcast ever. I would really appreciate it if you'd make that clip, even if it was like 12 seconds long.
Just that part.
Yeah, just 12 seconds long. It would be worth having on there because everyone should know that that's a travesty that they stopped doing bayonet courses in Army boot camp.
All right, you got it. Some people, if they don't hear this exact part, they can be kind of confused, but hey, I think they'll appreciate it. Yeah. I think so.
Oh, they'll hear it.
Yeah, they'll dig it fully.
But there's good animation.
Yeah.
He's getting crazy.
Yeah, man.
Which is fun.
And really, in general, just the YouTube, that's an added, like I said, in that added visual layer. If you're down for it. Sometimes people, you put it on your TV, let's say in your garage, you're working out, or it's on the TV. It's kind of like you're in the conversation a little bit more. It feels like it.
And also, if people subscribe to the YouTube channel, then when they can sign up where if you make an excerpt,
right,
then they can get that, because that's cool. I think that's a good thing is it's much easier to share an excerpt from the podcast than it is to share an audio. I don't even know how to share an audio piece of a podcast. I don't even know how to do that. It probably can't be done.
Probably. That's why we have the YouTube.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead, subscribe to that one. And speaking of, you mentioned the excerpts. Yeah, I put some excerpts. You can't, if you don't want to share, or you anticipate that this person's not going to listen to 2.5 hours of a podcast when you share it, you just get the little lesson, that you want to share. Be like, hey, how to, approach college,
The
or whatever.
one.
Yeah, that's a popular one.
Because everybody that went to college already wishes they had that when they went to college.
Yeah, so when they encounter someone who's going to, go to college, their kids or nephew, neighbor, whatever, boom, they have some advice directly from Jocko. Anyway, so yeah, you share that. Subscribe to the YouTube. That's the point there. Subscribe to the YouTube if you want, and if you want to support, and if you want, you can sign up for a little alert when I upload something on there.
I get those alerts.
You can get after
I'm usually
it.
pretty stoked when I see something coming through.
It's like a little present. Anyway, yeah, so YouTube, good one. Also, Jocko has a store. It's called Jocko Store. JockoStore.com. If you want t-shirts and whatnot, discipline equals freedom. The one that simply says get after it on the front, that seemed to have gone over pretty well, I'd say.
Well, and also, it seems worth noting that we now offer the Victory MMA shirt.
The Jocko uniform.
That I wear all the time.
Yep.
I wear it when I record the podcast. I wear it all the time. We, obviously, because we have our gym.
Yeah.
We have a lot of t-shirts that say our gym's name on it. And so I wear that t-shirt a lot. Yeah. And I always have.
Yeah.
And then I didn't intentionally do it on the podcast in the beginning. I just happened to be wearing it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And then someone said, "Is that the only shirt Jocko wears?"
Yeah.
And at that point I said, "Why, yes it is."
No, bruh. You're like the guy on The Fly. Remember the movie The Fly?
Yeah.
And the lady's like, what was her? I forget her name. She's like, hey, is that your only set of clothes or something like that? And she sees in his closet that they're all the same.
Oh, yeah. That is me. That is me.
Yeah.
I like to have the things that are the same. But people would come and ask me, hey, where can I get the t-shirt? Where can I get the t-shirt? So now we put it on the Jocko store.
Strangely, they didn't even have them at Victory because people would come in and be like, hey, we want
to. This is the thing. This is old school. This is the original Victory MMA t-shirt, and we had to reproduce it. Yeah. So it's a reissue.
Yeah.
Which is dope in its own respect, right?
Yeah, it is. So I'm trying to think. Like, is that inauthentic? It's not, because it's the exact same design.
Yeah,
it's the exact design. It's literally the exact same design.
The same file, right?
Yeah. Boom.
So now you can get that one if you want it. Yeah. You can represent
big time. It's good. It's interesting because yours are like old school, so they kind of have like a fade to them. Yeah.
The new ones.
So you get the new one, they're like, ooh,
yeah,
gleaming.
They look sharp,
beaming.
I'm gonna grab a couple of those too, by the way.
All right. Well,
because I was running low, and I would hate to have other things in my. Yeah. What's that called when you have clothes? My wardrobe. Yeah.
Yes. See, man, good thinking, Jocko. Anyway, JockoStore.com. Check those out. Some other new things, items on there. Let me talk about this mug. I'm not gonna take too much time because we've been going at it. So this travel mug right here. So you know how at home, you have your cup. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm talking about.
Actually,
the one that
I do.
use.
And you know what? I have actually, my wife, once she searched forever to get me a cup that I like. Yeah. And she found it. Yeah. And then she went to Target and bought, a dozen of them. They're big, giant, plastic, but feel like glass, whatever that is, acrylic or something. Yeah. Can't break, but you can, but they feel good in your hand. So I have a bunch of those, but apparently it's getting replaced.
Yes. So strangely, I had the same thing. Well, I was on the same search. So I had this one. What I arrived at, my favorite cup was pink because they didn't have any other colors. It was pink, but it was big. It was like maybe like 24 ounce, like big cup. That's what I used for everything. It was pink, whatever. That meant nothing to me compared to
with your manhood.
Yeah, man. Compared to the functionality, the pink was nothing. But here's the thing: it could barely fit in my cup holder. The kind like you put it in, but it was like kind of stuck. You'd have to fine. But that was the cup. That was the best one. You use any other cup, you just I don't know.
How you doing now?
I'm gonna get to that. So, but you know what I mean, though. So you know exactly what I mean. Where you have your cup. I don't know, it could be dirty. There could be cups everywhere, all available. You're like, no, I'm going to go ahead and wash this, and I'm going to use my cup. That's it. This one. Okay. We'll talk about this mug. It's technically a travel tumbler, right?
Been heard it.
Whatever. Yeah. Comes with the top, all that stuff. But you take off the top, boom, that's a cup too. Ergonomically conducive to just using it as a cup. You know how if you have like threads in there to screw on a top?
Threads.
There's no threads. It's like, it's like a thing. Anyway, and that's not to mention the look. Black on black. What do they call that? Murdered out. You ever heard that expression? Murdered out?
No.
Try Google, if you have time, Google murdered out Cadillac
Just
or car.
tell me what it is.
It's a flat matte painting with black wheels. So it's like basically all black, tinted windows, all black. So this thing is murdered out technically. Flat black matte with like the logo, the 434, and the discipline equals freedom is like shiny black.
Black on black.
Very nice. Ooh, very nice. So, and that's just the design. So function wise, perfect. 30 ounces, not 24, 30 straight up. And what is it? BPA free, all this. So you don't get poisoned over time. Come on, bro. That's a big thing. And also, okay, and here's the impressive part. When I ultimately was like, dang, like impressed. I guess this is like a technology that's kind of been around, but I didn't know because I had that plastic cup, whatever. This, it'll separate the temperatures from inside and outside. So the inside temperature won't leak to the outside, meaning it keeps, like, if you have ice and cold stuff in here, bro.
Means it's insulated.
But it's insulated in a special crazy way. And this is with no top on, by the way. You fill it up with your ice water. This is what I did one time. I finished, like, it was maybe 3/4 of it, still some water in there. And I kind of left it, went to bed. The next day, I looked at it, and the ice was still in there. And, sure, that doesn't mean that much. But as far as proving how it keeps the temperature, bro, that's a lot, straight up. Also, it doesn't, like, sweat. You know how when you have a cold drink on a if it's on your desk or
if
something?
If you're working, you might screw some stuff up.
Hot day, whatever, humid. It's like, it doesn't even do that. It doesn't do that at all. One time, I was outside at the pool, whatever, cruising. Ice water. Actually, it was Jocko white tea. Boom.
Oh.
We'll get to that too. But so, I leave it there and it's in the sun and I grab it and I'm like, this is going to be totally melted because I'm feeling it, the cup, physically feeling the outside of the cup, and it's straight up hot. The sun is beaming on it. It's hot. If I look inside, ice, still the full on ice, not even melted at all.
Well,
I'm telling you, when you replace your cup,
I'm so happy that you're happy
bro,
with this cup.
I'm telling you right now, when you replace this cup, you're going to find all these benefits to it above and beyond just the dope look and size. And it fits in your cup holder straight up. See how it's like the shape?
Yeah. Cool. All right, next thing.
I feel like we could talk about this for a little bit more.
We don't want to talk about this anymore. I know you like it. I'm glad you like it. I like it too.
All right, next
this
time
is my
we'll
first
talk
time
more
utilizing it, actually, and I'm impressed. My iced tea is still icy.
Bro, I've been getting down with this cup mug for a long time, man. Thoroughly impressed. Anyway, so we got that on the Jocko store, jockostore.com. We got it on there. Also, should we talk about the Warrior Kid shirts?
You can talk about that.
All right, they're on there too. Warrior Kid shirts, youth sizes for your kids. Boom, there it is.
Very, very cool.
Very
Warrior
cool.
Kids out there.
There's some layers in that one too that I just found out, by the way. Your contribution, the colors and whatnot. Colors, yes. Yeah. Don't worry about that. Go ahead, check it out. Again, jockostore.com. There's some rash guards on there. New rash guards out. Maybe they're out. Hoodies. We're kind of getting into like a spring. Maybe summer pretty soon. So hoodies might not be as applicable. Either way, they're on there.
We need to start prepping the winter hoodies that I'm going to be more in charge of this time so that they're heavier and more powerful.
Yeah, because you're thinking New England winter.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
I am.
Kauai
I'm also
winter.
thinking Chicago and Minnesota and Iowa.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking Kauai over here. If I was in Kauai, I wouldn't even wear a shirt, much less a sweatshirt.
Bruh, that was my whole point. You're like, hoodies. I was like, bro, what is that?
Yeah, you didn't know what it was.
Actually, my wife knows what hoodies are, so I just consulted with her. Nonetheless, jockostore.com. That's some cool stuff on there. Travel mugs, all shirts, cool shirts. Support that way, and, you get a little item. Represent in the wild. Boom. Also, support yourself with this one. Psychological Warfare. If you don't know what that is, which I know you already do, but if you don't, it's an album with tracks, no music. It's Jocko on there. And these tracks are useful. These are utility, what do you call them? Functional, tactical tracks to help you stay on the path. You know, we talked about getting distracted. Some people, they'll get distracted by comfort. You know, like the path
isn't comfortable.
Is riddled with discomfort. Riddled. And sometimes after a while, that discomfort can get to certain people at certain times. So what this Psychological Warfare album does is it keeps you on the path. So, for example, you want to wake up every day early. That one day, you're distracted by the comfort of hitting the snooze button, getting 10 more, 20 more minutes of sleep. That's bad. That's a distraction. That's a deviation from the path. Listen to Psychological Warfare. What's the number? Number 1, I think.
Get up and get after it.
Get up and get it. Listen to that. Put it as your alarm. I dare you to hit snooze. Dare you. Jocko will just tell you practically, in a practical, pragmatic way, why you should not hit the snooze. Boom. I would say with 100% certainty that you will not hit the snooze and you will stay on the path. And that goes for all these other things, deviating from diet, deviating from pushing yourself in a workout, deviating from
going to the gym in the first place.
Going exactly right. Or if you have like this procrastination situation, oh man, that's the main one that, you know, like how you're always like, hey, I need to do this. I should do this.
Just start doing it.
Yeah. Procrastination is pretty much the thing that's going to keep you from doing it. Nonetheless, if you procrastinate, got a little solution for you too. Anyway, Psychological Warfare. Jocko Willink. Look for it on iTunes or Amazon Music, by the way. It's a good one.
That's pretty cool. Also, while you're on Amazon, you can get this book that we just covered today, Conversations with Major Dick Winners. Jocko White Tea is also available on Amazon. If you don't want to drink sodas, which no one should be drinking sodas at all. You don't need them. They're actually horrible for you.
Bro, remember when we were eating sushi in New York and I busted out the Coke?
Yeah, I was going to actually just... I was surprised.
I thought that you weren't going to be my friend anymore in real life.
I couldn't believe it. So anyways, Echo has this tradition, which to me sounds like a sugar-coated lie.
Yeah.
That when he eats sushi, he has a glass bottle of Coke. So he did that. I overcame my hatred for him the best I could. It's kind of like when I was talking today about like, hey, if you're a vet, you can't look at everyone like, hey, this person's just I had to be like, okay, Echo's not a bad person. Yeah. He's just mentally weak right now, and we'll just deal with it. Don't drink that. Drink Jocko White Tea, which actually tastes better than Coke. There's no doubt that it tastes better than Coke.
That's subjective, but sure.
Are you serious right now?
I'm saying better is a subjective.
Yeah. That everyone agrees with in the world. Put side by side taste test.
There you go.
We'll go.
Boom.
I guarantee everybody says give me the Jocko White Tea. They don't want that. It's syrup and sugar.
I think you might be 147% correct.
Absolutely. We'll do a taste test. Only you can taste the Coke because I'm not touching my lips to that stuff. Nasty.
All right, you're the man.
One time they had we have a PT situation we called a monster mash.
Sure.
And it's you just do a bunch of crazy events, pull-ups and rope climbs and carry boats around and swim. And we were doing it when I was the officer in charge of TRADET. So the OIC of TRADET. So I brought my son with me. And they did this monster mash. And one of the things you had to do in the monster mash, and this thing's being timed and it's a race and all that stuff, you had to drink a full Coca-Cola through a straw. So my son's doing the monster mash, and he's probably 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
And he'd never even had a Coke before.
Ooh, it burned his mouth probably.
Yeah, and he just hated it. It was so nasty to him.
Yeah.
That's how I looked at you the other day. Dang, I was like, dude, you're making me sick. So, Jocko White Tea, go on there, read the reviews as well. You'll see things like this. Excellent tea. When I need to crush and power through the work, I brew me some Jocko White Tea. If I need a little extra kick to crush it, that's what I do. I've begun working fewer hours at the office as my productivity has risen 900%.
Dang.
That's pretty legit.
Actual numbers, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously that's 100% accurate because it came from an Amazon review. So, and actually, there's a warning as well. Caution regarding this product. Leaving your supply of Jocko White tea out in the open will require overwatch. I now have non-tea drinkers hitting my reserves almost as badly as dedicated tea drinkers. No double-blind study required, right? This is the thing. It doesn't taste like tea, right? It doesn't taste like tea, in my opinion. It tastes like victory, but it doesn't taste like tea. Yeah. So that's that. Jocko White tea. You can get it on Amazon.com. Way the Warrior Kid. The book is out, as you know. Thank you for getting it. Kids have been crushing it. It's awesome. That's one of my favorite things that has happened to me in the past several years is people started posting pictures of their kids reading Way the Warrior Kid. Yeah. And that was awesome for me to see. And I'll tell you why it was awesome. Because I know those kids are reading that book and they're thinking that they're going to get a little bit better and a little bit stronger and a little bit faster and a little bit smarter. And they're going to, and people are sending me pictures of kids doing push-ups and kids doing, a guy sent me a video of his kid. You know how you have little night vision in your kid's room so you can monitor them?
Oh, like on a little monitor
thing? Little monitor thing.
Yeah.
He sent me a video of the monitor. The kid's in the room after nighttime, after bedtime. Guess what the kid's doing? Push-ups. He's doing push-ups. Why? He wants to get stronger, wants to get better. So, get that. If you got kids, get it for them. If you're an adult, that's cool. Get it anyways. Adults have a lot to learn from Uncle Jake, myself included. So run out, go to your local bookstore, and grab copies. If they don't have it in your local bookstore, tell them to get it so that other kids can see it and get it. Let's make people better. Also, you can pre-order Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual. Again, you can find it in the Get After It section of any bookstore or online bookseller. It is the only book in that section. If your bookstore doesn't have that section, which it probably won't, tell them to get after it and make one. And then put Discipline Equals Freedom there and get a copy of it for yourself. Extreme ownership. Yes, the fundamental principles of combat leadership. They will help you win in any capacity, on the battlefield, on the beat, in business, in life. Extreme Ownership, written by myself and my brother Leif Babin. You can get that book as well. If you need more than the podcast and the book, that's fine. It's okay. Contact our leadership and management consulting company, Echelon Front. info@echelonfront.com. Now, the muster. The muster. We just got done with Muster002 in New York City. What's your assessment, Echo Charles?
My assessment was that it was an upgrade. It was an upgrade from the first one. And that's saying a lot because that first one I was like, dang, that was really impactful. To the kind where, and I don't really say like, ooh, this event was impactful. I don't use that word. Not because I'm above it or nothing like that, but I'm just saying to say it got to be for real. So that first one I was like, dang, this is really good. From top to bottom, like even, the material, boom, it's like all usable material, all of it. And then, like I always say, and I think people overlook this part a lot of time, like just the social element. It's so easy to make friends with everyone because they all kind of have the same kind of interests and goals. In one way or another, there's going to be some overlap there. And the jiu-jitsu part was fun too, it's like, it's just this great event, And then the second one, and I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't as fired up because it was in New York. It's like outside of the comfort zone. The first one here, San Diego, I was like, oh, sweet. Probably was like, it was even better. This past one was better. Yeah,
it was getting great feedback. Awesome. And like you said, I think one of the most important things that you just said is it's very pragmatic. Yeah. It's not like, hey, you're going to learn some stuff, but it's not going to be really applicable. No. Yeah. It's going to be applicable. Yeah. When you walk out, when you finish that section and we get done talking about it, boom, you can implement that immediately. Yeah, it's interesting. You guys have like a lot of military stories and examples, and then, but when you go to the Q&A, like all the people with their questions, not one of them is military. It's all work, maybe relationship, maybe here and there, but it's like at work, what do I do? Yeah, and exactly. In every one of those situations, we answer them. I'd say we answer them with both business examples that we've experienced and military examples. But yeah, you absolutely, we've seen, this is the thing. We've seen it happen before. Whatever that little issue is that you're having, I've seen it before. I've seen it before. I've seen something like it. We'll be able to find an answer, come to a conclusion, and move forward with the techniques, the principles that we talk about in Extreme Ownership. But it's like this. Extreme Ownership, the book, is an awesome way to get the fundamental principles. Mm-hmm. But when you come to the event, now you can really personalize it. You can really make sense of it. It's just like learning jiu-jitsu. Like, it's cool. Yeah, watch the YouTube videos. Yeah. Also go to class. Also go to the seminar. Learn it from as many different angles as you can, because the more angles you learn it from, the more proficient you'll be at applying them to your world.
Yeah, and that's not, you talk about jiu-jitsu. Another cool part about it is, when we teach the jiu-jitsu on the last day, like, you can come and actually try to choke Jocko.
Yeah, you come and bring it.
You think that's kind of, because think about it. Most times, like, if you go to like a thing, you can't go try to choke the guy at the end of it. You know,
you can't say like, hey, I'm going to go see this concert, and then afterwards I'm going to pick up a guitar and play, the solos with, Eric Clapton.
Yeah, exactly right.
That doesn't happen.
And
this you can.
Yeah, and this is like actually choking the person. So that's like an added element. I mean, I got to roll with like plenty of the guys, man. It's just so cool to be like, oh yeah, we talk about this, and then you get it on afterwards,
And so, anyways, if you didn't make it to New York City, which was awesome, Times Square, we had a great time. The next one we're having July 13th and 14th in Austin, Texas, the Omni Barton Creek Resort and Spa. Now, this is one thing that it just is what it is. In New York, we were planning to do like 350 people. Yeah. And then we sold that out. We opened it up for another 50, and we had to expand our room to get that. And then that sold out. And so then we rearranged the situation in there to get more people in there. It looks like in Austin we're capped. We can't get any bigger than the room that we've got. And so it's 350. So if you want to come, sign up quick. Before it gets sold out, because there's no way we can expand it into more people. So just be aware of that. Yeah. If you can't make that, 13th and 14th, July 13th and 14th in Austin, Texas, San Diego, California, September 14th and 15th. We're back in San Diego for follow-on operations, so come and get it. While you're waiting for the muster, if you need to pass communications to myself or Echo Charles, we can be found on the interwebs. Twitter, Instagram, plus we on that Facebookie. Echo is at Echo Charles, and I am at Jocko Willink.